Greg?
I'm in Colorado.
Whereabouts?
Colorado Springs.
Oh, very cool. Life in
Yep.
the
So
Springs.
yeah,
Love it.
south of Denver. South of Denver. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there are so many awesome people there.
yeah,
Ryan
it's
Moberly.
yeah,
You know
Ryan. Oh
Ryan? I
gotcha.
love
Yeah,
that
for
guy.
sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
awesome.
There's it's such a big small world and real estate especially, but that's why we're here and we're live.
We
right
are.
there, Dan. So, hey, everybody at LCA, I just want to thank you again, as always, for your time, attention, your love, and support. Jumping on another incredible live webinar here. And we do have a very, very special event today with the man, the myth, the legend, Dan Stewart. He's the CEO of Happy Grasshopper. You know him, you love him. He's back again to really drop some crazy good information to apply your real estate businesses. The gift of gratitude. So, Dan, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time, my friend.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here, Greg. I am. And that's a very on-brand thing for me to be, right? I mean,
yes, good man, a good man. Pun intended, Dan. So that was good.
Well, you know what? Before we dive in with the slides and get everybody excited about that, I want to take a moment and just share something that's kind of awkward. Like
Awkward's good. Awkward's good.
I think that sometimes we don't share what a rough time we're having or have had at points in our career. And, I sit here now from my horse farm just outside Tampa, and I feel like, is this my life? It feels like I was waiting tables and wondering how to make a living just yesterday sometimes.
Wow.
And, where I want to start today is by expressing sincere gratitude to all the countless people who've shown up in my life exactly when I needed them. They had exactly the right information to help me reach that next level. And, I also want to say how grateful I personally feel that I'm now getting to reach behind and pull so many other people up with me. I do sincerely believe that everything we want to achieve in life is possible through the relationships that we build. And, my whole life today is all about those relationships. And so if you're here today for this session, thank you. I'll express some gratitude to you for joining us. That's a wonderful thing. And I want to make a commitment that everything I share with you today are things that you can actually put into practice, whether you've ever heard of my company, whether you ever subscribe or not. Every single thing that we're going to share is going to be useful for you. Wow. So I am excited to dig in, and I see we got some chat going on already. That's awesome. Thank you, Jake, for starting that off. Please make sure that you're using the chat throughout today's session. I'd love for you to pop in where you're joining us from, making sure that you can see and hear us all right. That would be awesome. And Greg, I know you're in Colorado Springs, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, Dan, it's just absolutely incredible right now. We had a couple cold snaps here and there, a couple flurries, customary for Colorado, so nothing that we're not used to. But I love this time of year, and really, I appreciate where you're coming from, Dan, with starting off with gratitude, and I think that's hugely on point with the title of your presentation. And I know that everybody here in LCA just absolutely loves and appreciates who you are and what you do for the real estate world and community, not just yourself, but with Happy Grasshopper. And, I want to echo what Dan was saying is, we all appreciate every love and support and comment and engagement on LCA and everybody that's here today. So I love that note and start, Dan, for sure. That was great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. And press play now on the slide deck so we can get our work done. That we got so much good stuff to share.
I love it.
So there's my ugly aging mug beside your awfully handsome picture there. So
it's
just
all
focus
Photoshop.
on the right side of the screen, and everybody's going to survive today. It'll be fine.
It's the photographer, Dan. That's not me. That's it. Not it at all.
Okay. All right. So I think we've covered the idea of gratitude and the importance of being grateful. The reason this session is called gift of gratitude is because it's something you can give every single person you meet. If you just, make a habit of adopting a mindset where you have to ask yourself to find the gratitude in whatever situation you're in. I won't name names, but I will say I have a client who's just been significantly let down by a vendor in their life, really leaving them in the lurch. It's cost them a ton of money and time. And, the thing in this scenario that I want them to focus on is the importance of recognizing that they don't have to doubt those parties in the future. Like they're never going to put themselves in that situation again. So even sometimes when it's a negative thing that occurs, we can find the positive in that situation in a way that really empowers us for the future. Now, it's November. Today is not the 17th, as it says on the slide deck, and smack my wrist for not loading the right cover graphic there. But what's really important is that we are in the month of GrowVember. And I think of this month as really being about two things, growth and gratitude. And when you think about growth, this is that time of year where each of us are starting to feel the slowdown, right? The holiday season's upon us. It's time to find that quiet space and to crawl into a journal and really ask ourselves, what did we do great this year? What didn't we do great this year? What do we never want to do again? And what are the things we should absolutely be focused on? Right? So if you look back at everything you invested time and treasure into over the past 11 months, and you made a list, is this hurting me or is this helping me? You're going to very quickly educate yourself to a path that leads to continual growth. So I always want to focus that in the month of November because your competition is slowing down right now. And if you choose not to do that, you're going to put yourself in a really wonderful position to start the coming year. I always think the spring market gets won in Q4 of the prior year. That's really where it takes place. So we're, just about halfway through Q4. If you have not carved out a few hours to just focus on your own growth, I'm talking about personal growth as well as professional growth, profit growth is certainly included there. Now's the time to do it. So grab some time on your calendar and mark that down. Love it. Now, part of what we've done here in making a promise for today's webinar was to show you how you can spend as little as $5 and generate listings. Okay. And it's November 2021. And we're in a market where a lot of people are just struggling to find inventory at all. And here I am showing up to tell you you can do it for as little as $5, right? So I know that's a big promise, and I'm going to keep that promise for you today. And before I show you exactly how, I think I owe you the responsibility of showing the data that really makes this possible. So Greg, before the call, I was sharing with you that we're nurturing around 26 million contacts for real estate professionals today.
Unreal.
Now, that is an enormous data set to have the luxury of looking into and seeing what really works versus what we just hoped would work, right? There's a difference. And, the one thing we know for sure is that there are only two kinds of human beings alive today. They know us or they don't, period. There's no arguing with that fact. And so the thing we need to keep in mind is that if they know us, we don't always need to be talking about real estate with those people. We need to show up in their lives as someone who cares about them, as someone who is going to remain part of their life into the future, right? Now, if they're a lead, well, a lead is a kind of a different thing. That's a stranger. We don't know that person yet, and that person doesn't know us, even though maybe we've purchased their information by providing a website they can search on where we force them to give us their information to see more pictures of the bathroom, right? Whatever it may be. So that person is going to be best served if we can teach them what our past clients and sphere already love about them. Okay. Greg, I'm going to share something that I love to do, right? I absolutely love to do this. Whenever I'm on the road speaking at an event, I always ask the audience to raise their hand for me if the majority of their business comes from relationships,
Wow.
right? Referrals from past clients in Sphere.
Yep.
And every single time I look out into the audience, and it's like 70 to 80% of the room has their hands up. And so then I say, all right, now keep your hands up and look around the room. Let that sink in, right? Let that sink in, because there's no shortage of ways to spend your money in real estate that doesn't really do a lot to increase the number of transactions we're having.
Well said.
So,
well said, Dan.
you know, and I'm a fan of trying things, right? By all means, experiment. And yet, let's not forget, most agents get most of their business through relationships. So I wanted to know what those numbers really looked like. You know, in other words, how many relationships do you need to maintain as an agent to hit the number of transactions you'd like to actually have? And again, studying 26 million plus contacts to whom we've sent hundreds of millions of messages over the past 11 years.
Wow.
We don't have to guess. We know the number. And that number is 12. For every 100 people you know, there should be approximately 12 transactions per year if, and this is a big if, you show up in their life as someone who cares more about the relationship than you do about the commission.
Wow.
Okay. So, you know, I'll ask the audience right now. I want to understand, like, if you're sitting there, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I've got a newsletter service, I'm always sending out what's going on in the market. That's helpful information. It's absolutely good to send that. And yet, if I'm your buddy, if I'm your past client, if I really know you, and the only way I ever hear about you is because of something in real estate, it tells me that you don't really care about me. You really care more about the commission I represent. So, you know, I'm going to give you some strategies for how you can show up in the lives of these people in a way that proves you care about them. And specifically, I'm going to show you how to do that in ways that lead to closings. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
So let's get started on putting the closings into our conversation here. Greg, are you a coffee drinker?
I am. I
Okay.
enjoy a cup from time to time.
All right. So on a bad day, I might enjoy, say, 4 cups from time to time.
There you go.
I'm trying to limit that to about 2 cups a day. So don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine.
Do you have a time cutoff, Dan? Is there a time of the day where you say, all right, I can't drink it past this part? Or
Oh, I am such an early riser. I live on a horse farm. So usually I'm up between 4 and 5 a.m. every day.
Oh, I love that.
And, you know, I like to get stuff done and be active. And that first cup, oh, it's just so good. And occasionally there's a day where I'm like, oh, I need some afternoon coffee.
Yep.
And for me, I just switched to decaf because I'm not smart enough to know the difference. Right? I'll fool my body into thinking it just got some caffeine.
Good man. Good man.
So we're going to talk about coffee closings, right? There's a way you can take those coffee beans, grind them up, send some hot water through them. And instead of just getting that nice caffeinated jolt, you can actually reliably count on creating some closings. And so, you know, if you like coffee, this is great. If you don't like coffee, just substitute whatever beverage, whatever reason to get together with someone you can think of. Because, you know, meeting for coffee is a great way to both grow and nurture your database. Now, so let's talk about the new side. Like, are you a coffee shop guy? Do you ever go just sit in a coffee shop, Greg?
I'm a big fan. I love it. Networking, meeting people. And it's just, you know, even having a wonderful, you know, setup and machine at home. It's just something about being in that space, you know.
I will admit that if I'm at home, I will sometimes find anything else to do other than what I'd really like to be working on. So a coffee shop is often a good place for me to say, okay, I can really focus here because there are people watching, right?
For sure. For sure.
Now, I'm going to share a couple of strategies I've learned from my clients over the years that are great for meeting new people. Okay, so one of them gets these T-shirts made that I think are just brilliant, right? On one side, it says, and these are bright T-shirts. They're like fluorescent, bright T-shirts because it fits this guy's personality to do that. It says something like, "Give me a high five if you live in West Chase." Right.
Oh, cool.
And West Chase is the name of a neighborhood that's really popular in the Tampa, Florida area where I live. And there are a lot of homes in there between about 400,000 and up to about $1 million. So it's a nice market to focus on. And there are thousands of homes that are there. So, if I put that T-shirt on and I went to a coffee shop that's near, adjacent, or even within West Chase, do you think I'm going to have a lot of people going, "Hey, I live here, high five," right?
Right.
I am. High five, COVID, we have to talk about that, but
sure.
Say hello if you live in West Chase, right? Whatever it might be on the shirt, you're using it as a conversation starter. So that's one way you can just meet new people while you're out and about. And I like that strategy because, as you're really trying to build your database and increase your number of transactions, you have to have a strategy for meeting people. And then, of course, you need a strategy to stay in touch with them. So step one, meet them. Step two, engage in a conversation with them where you can build some rapport, right? So if we're having that conversation, Greg, and you high five me or you say hi because I'm wearing that T-shirt, I'm going to be like, "Man, that's awesome. Thanks so much for letting me know. I'm Dan. Nice to meet you. Have you lived here long? You have? Okay, cool. Oh, you just moved in? Awesome. Yeah, I love this area." Like, build some rapport, right? And then you say, "Hey, you know what? I wonder if you could do me a favor. Do you know anyone in your neighborhood who's maybe thinking of moving?"
Wow.
Right? Or maybe do you know someone we could convince to move if like I brought a dump truck full of money for them? Because you got to like keep this in alignment with your own personality. But the idea is you're wearing that conversation starter. You're in a place where you're going to meet people who are likely connected to the area that you want to grow within. Okay. And then the third part of that strategy is you need a way to get them into your database. Right. So, think about that point in the conversation where you're like, "You know what? It'd be cool if we kept in touch. What's your number?" And you're just entering them in your phone and they're doing the same thing. Well, we built some software. It's called LCA Nurture. And that includes a digital business card where you can just show them that QR code on your phone. In fact, I'll show you mine now. Like, this is so easy to use. So there's my phone. I'm clicking the icon. This is pulling up my site, right? And then all I have to do is click this QR code. And now if you were to scan that, you would come to my digital business card site where you can email me, call me, text me, WhatsApp me, link to all my social media. And of course, you can save my contact information directly to your phone, right?
Beautiful.
So they might not remember your name. You're just meeting them. Like, if you let months go by and they don't hear from you, they might not remember who you are. So when you add a contact this way, they're automatically added to LCA Nurture. They automatically get your next messaging that we're sending for you. Okay.
Powerful.
So this is how we use coffee to meet new people, right? Simple strategy. You guys can do this super cheap. You're out, you're having conversations. You could do this today if you chose to, right? And there are also other ways to leverage these coffee conversations. Past clients and Sphere, man, that is where it's at for sure. We are right here the week of Thanksgiving. A lot of people are back in town. A lot of people are excited about connecting with family. It's a great time to reach out to those people who haven't heard from you in a while with a message that's fun and friendly and invites them to coffee. Okay. So I'll show you an example of an email that accomplishes this. And Greg, if you don't mind, I'll just let you read that for everybody. There's some fun words in there.
Yeah, let's see. So I just saw that Starbucks offering $7 a cup. And no, it doesn't come with a sandwich, which is funny because anybody knows different coffee shops charge different. called Costa Rica. It's like
Yeah, I
blurring out
mean,
on me.
I'm giving you a reading test here. I'm
No,
sorry,
it's
that's
all
not my
good.
intention, but
It's all just really, really expensive cup of coffee. Bet you didn't know what this was subject in the right. Anyway, if you'd like to join me for a cup, let me know. I'd be great. It'd be great to see you. Dan, the reason why I like that aspect, and I want to go into a little bit of just kind of back to what you were saying, the email process, the 100 to 12, what really stood out to me into that, and hopefully anybody who is tuning in live with us now or after the fact, I really enjoy basing it off of the truth that you mentioned. It's not looking at them as transactional, it's looking at them as relational. And people, if the only contact that you have physically or digitally with somebody is business, they're going to get turned off very quickly. And I really wanted to just reiterate you saying that, because I think that the importance is great. You bringing it to the physical world for that cup of coffee, and really having that handout, the t-shirt or a hat or something, a call to action to spark that conversation, to me is absolutely wonderful. And I think that, coming from a digital aspect and a complete nerd, as I like to call myself, there's nothing going to beat a handshake, a face-to-face meeting, and really engaging with somebody. But how can you duplicate and replicate, and to what Happy Grasshopper does, and so much more? It's able to take that conversation, that personality, that cup of coffee, and then really adding it out to a database to increasing to close transactions. So didn't mean to go on that tangent, Dan, but I just wanted,
no, it's
if
great to reemphasize that.
Well, if somebody just tuned in a second ago and they weren't on time, but they missed it, I just wanted to reiterate that, because it's very, very powerful. And I'm sorry, the screen's a little off, so I apologize for the crummy reading.
No worries at all. No worries at all. But for those of you who are watching this, just screenshot that, right? Make it your own and send it out to your past clients in Sphere. You'll get a bunch of replies from people who'll be happy to go meet you for coffee. Now, I mentioned data previously. I'm that data geek guy. I want to know what works, what doesn't work. Let's do more of what works and less of what doesn't work. And looking at this particular message for this member who sent it, we see some pretty startling data. So first of all, I want you to notice the open rate, 52% from an email. Right? Now, the reason that open rate is so high isn't because we have some super secret way of sending. It's because the only people receiving this message know him. Like, these are his past clients in Sphere. And when he reaches out, they recognize it and they engage, because he has relationships with these people, right? So he went out there for these coffee meetings. He had, a nice conversation. He reestablished rapport. And then he asked some of those magic questions that I explained earlier, which, again, to reiterate, like, take a moment and jot this down. Right? Hey, do you know anyone in your neighborhood who's thinking of moving? Or maybe someone we could convince to move if they got enough money for their home? Okay. That is a sexy way to ask for a referral, because people actually know what you mean, instead of when you say, hey, by the way, I'd love your referrals. They go, oh, okay. They don't understand what that actually means. But if you ask them if they know someone who's thinking of moving, their brain goes, do I? Yeah, actually, I do know someone who's thinking of moving. So yeah, you want to ask questions that their brain can really understand.
Well, and to that, Dan, not to cut you off with that, but I loved in that coffee shop scenario, you had mentioned about the seller, if anybody's thinking about selling, and you said, and they'd be interested in maybe a dump truck full of money. I love using humor or something that's a little bit different. I mean, if it's right to your tone and to your point, I mean, you've got to be who you are, but I love using humor. I think it really just grabs attention and making people laugh is a wonderful thing. So I love that you said that earlier, for sure.
But one of the things I love about my career serving people in real estate is so many people in real estate are just awesome people. Like, they're fun. I mean, how many clients, like, right? You serve people and you just freaking love them. You can't wait to do more for them because they're delightful human beings. I feel so fortunate to have traveled around the country and vacationed with clients as far away as Alaska and Hawaii. I mean, there's just no substitute for relationships, and so many people in real estate are awesome. So if you're that agent who's hearing me say that, and maybe you're going, well, I don't know if I'm awesome enough. You are. Let me just tell you, because other people are experts on your actions. They're observing you. So if you have any past clients or sphere who've ever given you a referral, that's proof that you're awesome. That's proof that you're awesome, right? So now it's just about realigning those internal expectations with what those external observations are in others, right? So in short, you're an expert on your intentions. Other people are experts on your actions. So if they're referring to you, you already are awesome enough, period. Okay. So let's dive into the super sexy stuff next. I mean, if you've liked what we shared so far, you're really going to like this next section.
I'm loving it, Dan.
Because
this is great.
I'm going to share with you this super awesome service we've built called LCA Nurture. And we are generating so much commission money for people in real estate across the US and Canada who've joined LCA Nurture. Now, this is the system that we built in collaboration with Nick and Tristan, specifically to help you find as many transactions as possible within that database of people who already know who you are. So hear me clearly. This is not for strangers. This is not for leads. This is only for people who know you. Okay?
Love it.
Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I've been in business forever, I know thousands of people, I'm going to gently and politely tell you you're wrong. You might know them, but they certainly don't know you. So I'm going to encourage you to think of yourself as the grocery store test, right? So imagine your database was walking around your favorite grocery store with you. Who are the people who are saying hello? Oh, hey, it's you, Greg. How are you? Those are the people you should be loading into LCA Nurture, as well as those new people you're meeting at the coffee shop, so you can build those kind of relationships with them.
Huge.
Now, if they said hello at an open house 5 years ago, they should not be in LCA Nurture, right? Because we're going to start conversations with these people that turn into transactions. And to do that effectively, we have to start by loading the right people. Okay.
Love it.
I know a lot of people will have questions about, oh, what does this cost? How expensive it is to be an agent, right? This is dirt cheap. It's only $470 for the year. Wow. It's super simple. And for that money, you have my professional team of copywriters creating your messaging for you. So we write and deliver 41 touches per year. As you see on the screen, that's email, it's text message, it's also ringless voicemail drop. And then we support each of those things with a bunch of social media posts. And we even give you the ability to send handwritten cards through our software, right? Wow. Now, you see the pricing on the screen, and it's gratitude month. So you know how everybody's getting jazzed for their Black Friday sales? Oh, yeah. Have you ever done that? Are you that guy who gets up at 2 a.m. to buy a new TV for $5?
You know, I did it one time, Dan, in my life. It was when I was much younger. It was after we bought our first house, and it was for a washer and dryer.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when Sears was still around. So that's dating me a little bit, but
gotcha.
Yeah, that is the one and only experience that I had on the early morning, but online, Cyber Monday, you know, Black Friday, things like that.
Yeah. My thought is, you know what, if it's good on a Friday or a Monday, it should be good all month long. So this is our gratitude to the LCA community. So those prices that I've just shown you, you can divide that by 2, and you can go ahead and subscribe to this service at happygrasshopper.com/meet LCA Nurture. And Jake, if you could just grab that and pop it in the chat, you probably already have, because you're awesome that way.
He did.
Okay, he is awesome that way. I'm going to jump out of this slide share, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what this software looks like. So are you still seeing my screen?
Yes. Yep. See your desktop screen. And Jake also put in the link directly to happygrasshopper.com/meet LCA Nurture. So that's in there as well.
Very cool. Very cool. So I am logged in now to LCA Nurture. I'm on the dashboard page, and I'm going to give you guys a quick breakdown. So remember, it's 41 touches per year. We keep you on track all year long. So here we see what messaging opportunities exist for this member. Okay. As I scroll down, we see which contacts you have that are most likely to move. And Melissa, I see your question there. Yeah, of course you can use this in South Georgia. Absolutely you can. In fact, I just spoke for the Georgia Association of Realtors at their annual event about a month ago. So yes, please do. You're welcome to take advantage. Now, back to what you're seeing on the screen. We have this integration with a company called Revaluate, and they do something very special. They take your contact information and then they monitor the internet for signs that that person is going to be a near-term mover. They're looking for things like divorce, death, diamonds, and diapers, right? Those 4 things reliably lead to people wanting to move. So that's why they're identified here. Going a little further down, you see where we've got birthdays and transaction anniversaries. Now, this is a scenario where text and voicemail drops work like a 1-2 punch. So Greg, if it were your birthday here in the next 7 days, and you were identified on that list, I'll just click send text. And here my staff has already written it. Hey, Greg, it's Dan Stewart. Am I the first to wish you a happy birthday this year? I hope so. Do you have any plans?
Wow.
Okay. Now, if I sent that to a stranger, that would be weird, right?
Right.
And yet if I send it to my past clients and my sphere of influence, it's welcome. And if I send it a week before their birthday, ooh, I just beat the rush on Facebook. I'm standing out in front of everybody. That's really good.
Love it.
Right. So I like to have it set up to send the the text about a week before their birthday, and then to send the voicemail drop on their birthday.
Very cool.
I don't know if everybody here is familiar with voicemail drops, so I'm going to click on that. This is where my staff of writers write messages for you. Like here's a Thanksgiving message, right? I can preview that script. All I have to do to record it is click record voicemail, then allow. Hello, happy Thanksgiving. It's me, Dan Stewart. And I just, I wanted to reach out and, tell you that I hope you and yours have a really great holiday season. So when you can, it'd be great to catch up. My number is 727-533-5175. And yes, I know you have it. So happy Thanksgiving. Talk soon. Bye. Right. So a couple of points there.
Wow.
One, that was stupid easy to record.
Super easy.
Second point is I made it my own. The script is not a magic spell. You do not have to get every word right. If you stutter, if you say something wrong, it's fine. You've left voicemails in your life. This should sound like a voicemail. It shouldn't sound like a radio commercial, right?
Wow. Well said.
So here I'll just click use recording, and that's going to replace my previous recording. And I'm all set now, ready to go for that send. So
cool.
We have all sorts of great scripts loaded here. I'm going to pull up the Barry Jenkins script. I love this. We worked with Barry on this script, and he pulled 3 listings from it in Virginia Beach, which is just amazing, right? So you'll see that there are a ton of these scripts loaded for you. We make it easy for you to win with this sort of content. Wow. So in every area here, no matter the content, we have a library of messaging. And your job, of course, is to go in and take a look at what the content is. Like here, I'm going to preview this message. You might read that and go, oh, I don't like it, or oh, I love it. Either way, your reaction is right. So I want you to go through as a member and rate these messages so our writers learn more about what you want. And this way they'll create more messaging that you appreciate. What did COVID teach you, right? this is kind of a fun story about the Balloon World Cup. So here we're linking to this article. There's all sorts of content here. And again, this is all new once every 2 weeks. See that these messages are only good until Friday at midnight, and then they're gone. We're replacing them with all new messaging.
Wow.
So that's a pretty quick review here of the email area. I want to dip into social media content for a moment. Think of all these services that post social media posts for agents. That is their servers reaching out to social media companies pretending to be you. And unfortunately, that means that most of what they post for you doesn't get shared with all your friends. A way to increase that is to take the content we create, you just copy the text, you download the image, and then you post it from your computer or your device. And this way, the same algorithm at the social media companies, they see that as organic content and they share it with more people.
Well said.
So a couple of pro tips about this content approach. Number one, you'll notice it's going from your personal page, not your business page. So, your social media ads need to be connected to your business page, but smart conversation starting messages on real estate related topics can come from your own personal page. Right now, you'll look here as I scroll through. A lot of these are topics that have to do with real estate and home ownership. Some of them are topical, just about the time of year, and still others are just intended to make people laugh or where you choose your own background image. I'll scroll through a bunch of these. Like, the idea is that once a day, you should be copying some of this content and sharing it.
Wow.
And there's enough content here where every day of the year, you can always post something new. And my pro tip for you would be that you need to take that content, you need to share it. As people are commenting, like their comments, reply to their comments, and then reach out in Messenger and thank them for their comments. Hey, Greg, thanks for commenting on my post. How are you? Hard not to say, I'm great. How are you? Start that conversation, keep it rolling.
Wow.
Now, Peggy, I see your question about whether or not you can use this in Canada. The answer is yes, you can. We have a ton of members across Canada, and we're even smart enough to know the difference between English, American English and Canadian English spellings. So when you set up your account and you pop in your Canadian address, the content that's available for you is going to be spelling adjusted. So, we know to add those U's. And we also know that Canadian Thanksgiving is not Thursday, right? That happened a month or so ago. We even cover things like Boxing Day. So you're going to love that content. I see Jake is saying about versus a boot.
A boot.
Nice, Jake.
That was great.
Nice. So next thing I'm going to show you are handwritten cards. We are at that time of year where you should definitely be thinking about sending handwritten cards. Maybe you've already bought stationery. Maybe you're already getting started on that. Or maybe you're feeling guilty because you know you should, but you just don't know if you're going to make time for it. So what I've done is I've just clicked on handwritten cards and then select a card. And you see we have all these different cards here ready to go for you. And they're categorized. So you want to send a happy holidays message? No problem. Find a card you like. Like, I'll grab this one, right? Then anything you write here in this message area, that's going to show up inside the card. Now, Greg, I want to show you something cool here. I'm going to zoom in. Notice that this E does not match this E.
How cool.
Or this E. Or this E. They're all different. So these are actually written by a robot holding a pen. So it's an actual ink from a pen that's on the card. And no matter which font you choose, we're following that same convention.
Unreal.
Right? Now I'll show you here. This is the one that I use for my cards. And I'm going to stop the screen share for a moment because I have one of these right at my fingertips.
Oh, great.
So first thing to notice is that they're actual cards. Like that's a thick cardstock, quality card. It looks like you went to Hallmark or CVS or something and bought your card. Second thing is it does not say Happy Grasshopper, does not say LCA Nurture, right? This is the designer information that's on the card.
Wow.
And then there's the inside of the card.
That looks great.
Okay. So these are money, guys. You got to send these cards for sure. By the way, when they go out with a handwritten envelope with a first class postage stamp on them too. Now, I'm going to put the screen share back up because I want you to know that you've also got the ability to add a gift card to any of these cards, right?
Wow.
So back to coffee, like with your past clients in Sphere, maybe you're sending them a $5 gift card and saying, hey, really appreciate that we got together for coffee last week. Your next cup is on me, right? Maybe that's maybe that's the right way to follow up with that person that you've just met. Okay. So you have all kinds of options available to you here at your fingertips within LCA Nurture. And, there's an old truth here about, there's an old truth that I will never tire of sharing this with you because it's one of those things in real estate that no matter how you test it, it's always true. And I think people don't think about it enough. If you want more closings, you need more conversations, right? I mean, you have to.
Sure.
So if this is your goal, more closings, and we trace it all the way back, it goes like this. So to get more closings, to earn more GCI, what do we need? More sales. Well, where do those sales come from? Well, there's two places. They could come from leads or they could come from relationships. What are the best leads? Always relationship, right? Always. So where do relationships live? Inside conversation. If we're not in conversation with people, we're not in relationship with them.
Wow.
So, take it from me, a guy who's got 3 kids, a guy's been married for 26 years. If I fail to have conversations with my kids or my wife, we stop having a relationship.
So true.
It's a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
So you think about all those throwaway conversations we have every day. What we need to start recognizing is that our ability as human beings to have conversations, that's what sets us apart from every other animal on the planet.
Wow.
Our ability to influence others exists in conversation. Our ability to fall in love exists in conversation. Our ability to raise our children in conversation. Where do we win contracts? In conversation. Where do we negotiate the problems on the way to closing? In conversation. There's nothing you're going to do to move your business forward that doesn't really connect to conversation in one form or another.
Wow.
So again, back to that whole staircase we climbed to achieve that goal. The thing that comes immediately before conversation, those are questions.
Wow.
So if we follow those ratios all the way up, we know for sure that for every 100 people you regularly engage in conversation by using LCA Nurture, you will find on average 12 transactions per year.
Wow.
So I will certainly leave that thought hanging there for you because there's just no exception to it. When you add the right people to this, you will have more conversations. And Peggy, I see your question here. I want to answer this. She's saying you can't drop voicemails in Canada, right? So there are some carriers in Canada that when you send a ringless voicemail drop, their phone actually rings. They answer the phone to hear your recording. That's awesome. That is not great. So this is something that my development team has been working on. It's something that Sly Broadcast has been working on.
Hmm.
And we believe that this problem is very nearly solved and it can be easily handled with a test. So I don't know what part of Canada you're in, Peggy, but we know the carriers that are there. We can test it. Hopefully we'll see that we can deliver those the proper way, because I think it's a mistake to use methodology that people find annoying. Right. Think of that text message we're all getting today, where we're interrupted from doing whatever we're doing because we visited a car dealership 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not a great use of the technology.
Right.
The right way to use that same technology is immediately after a lead registers to start a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The right way to use that text message technology is around a holiday or a birthday or a transaction anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Using it with your sphere and past clients, it's a solid winner. So, Greg, we've covered a ton today. How are you feeling?
Dan, I absolutely love it. And I just wanted to find a good time to jump in, but all your information, you were just hitting it back and forth, which was beautiful. When you were showing the back end of LCA Nurture, for me, I one thing that rang out very clearly was simplicity. And I think that so many real estate professionals, entrepreneurs, they get wrapped up in the details. Oh, that's too tricky. I can't figure that out. This is so simple, from the voice drop to the emails to the social engagement and posting, and how you're copying that copy, that text, and the photos. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse when you have this technology at your fingertips to really take that business to another level. And I really love, I just wanted to reiterate it. I love your analogy with the grocery store sort of, relationship, who's reaching out to you and saying, oh, hey, Dan, good to see you. Like you said, those are the right people for this particular platform in this segment. But I'm telling you, the best and brightest minds, they're really focusing on how they can grow, how they can scale, and how they can leverage. This technology is wonderful, Dan. So this is really, really great to kind of see your explanation and go through. And for anybody who hasn't known of it, you're welcome. You can thank Dan for taking the time to do this for sure. But no, I think you shared so much knowledge and information. You answered all the questions that are out there. I do want to reiterate that Jake did post up the Black Friday month sale, so 50% off. And so that is in the chat here. And I believe anybody who's tuning in after the fact, that's not live with us now, maybe on YouTube, I'm sure we'll have links in the comments down below so that you could take advantage of that. But Dan, is there anything else that you want to touch on or talk about, or kind of wrap everything up, because we're right there at the hour?
Absolutely there is. So guys, I don't know if you know how hard the LCA community works to support you, right? So I need to close today by expressing some gratitude to Jake and Tessa and all the other people who support the LCA team and make this such a smooth undertaking. You guys really have no idea how much effort goes in behind the scenes to make a webinar like today go as smoothly as it has been. And Greg, I want to thank you and express some gratitude for your co-hosting today. It's been a delightful experience, and I'm really glad to have you in my life, and I'll look forward to connecting again soon.
Likewise, Dan, you're a true pro and just such a genuine heart. And, what you do in the real estate world and community is just incredible. And I know the people that know, love, and respect you, there's a whole nother series of people who, if this is their first time engaging with you, once again, you're welcome. I just think it's fantastic. And I enjoy this time. And I know that everybody else did too, Dan. So I can't thank you enough for taking the time.
You're so welcome. You are welcome. So everybody have a great Thanksgiving. That's a requirement. Everybody take 2 hours, carve it out just for you and a journal, and really sit with yourself and think about what was awesome this year. What was not awesome? What did I do well? What didn't I do well? What do I want to do more of? What am I never going to do again? If nothing else, if you take that time to really reflect inward, you're going to prime yourself for a better than ever 2022, which is exactly what I'm doing. I am so excited about the years ahead. I can't even tell you. So go hug your family, kiss your dog, and enjoy that Thanksgiving dinner. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Dan. See you, everybody. Thank you so much.